Pro Wrestling Weekly. For over 20 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment radio talk.
Is cooking.
WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly,
the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
You really do sound like a
grizzled old vet. Is that where you were going with there?
Yes.
To not get you in trouble?
Oh, I'll get in trouble at some point. Believe me, I'll do something.
Well, to keep you out of trouble in this case, at least.
And now, here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Ooh, I'm getting good at this radio thing.
Yeah. It only took you 5.5 years.
I'm not good at it yet. I'm starting.
Yeah.
Only slightly.
Slowest escalator upward.
Shut up!
There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, back in studio, back in the saddle alongside Mitch.
Glad to be back.
And Twitch is AWOL. And no, I don't mean the character from 2000's WCW. No, not that AWOL. Yeah, some things are better left unexplained. It is part of a whole kind of army characters. One of them was there's no good way to explain it without potentially getting myself into trouble. Just different. Different names that probably shouldn't have been utilized as far as that particular group that were definitely offensive in some way or another. We'll save that for the first break here. As far as
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it's safer that way.
Much safer.
Oh my goodness! But yes, we are back after being out at the Kids Expo last week, and it was certainly a fun time out there. Certainly had its adventurous moments, to say the least. But a lot to get into in the fallout of the Superstar shakeup.
Really?
Yeah. Now that WrestleMania is over, it's almost like WrestleMania is almost like the season finale of a TV series, and shortly thereafter, the Superstar shakeup, it's almost like the beginning of a new season, because with professional wrestling, they go all 52 weeks of the year. There is no off-season, unlike other sports. So there has to be some sort of a dividing line, in a sense, in terms of continuity, and that's where the comparisons of a soap opera, for example, come into play. Just as one example.
Yeah, I get the example.
And, well, with that, there were a lot of moves, and we'll get to those over the course of the hour here. But first, there's something that I wanted to get into. I probably should have gotten into it last week since we were at a high school, and that would have been very apropos, but I didn't want to provide any negative influences by describing the buffoonery that had gone on here.
That is a fair point.
Yeah, so you may have seen this on the interwebs, as the interwebs tend to do, but there was this Florida high school student, and yes, if you're familiar with the interwebs, it seems like these stories always come out of Florida.
Oh, Florida.
But yes, this Florida high school student, Gianni Sosa Hernandez. Earlier this month, he was arrested for attempting an RKO on his high school principal. Most definitely out of nowhere. Yes, the move made famous by Randy Orton, he delivered that. Attempted to deliver that on his principal and was arrested because of it. The official report here from the Miami Herald, it says a Miami teenager tried the move not on his buddy in a backyard brawl, but on Southridge High's principal, according to cops. Gianni Sosa, 18, was charged with battery on a school employee. And an arrest report identified the victim as Humberto Murray, the school's principal. During Sosa's first court appearance that Thursday morning, defense attorney Roy Ugarte called the arrest report hands down one of the most insane he had ever read. The attorney went on to explain the difference between Greco-Roman wrestling and the pro wrestling that most consider staged for entertainment. And, well, the lawyer made a statement that I know a lot of wrestling fans will agree with. Again, this is a quote from him. "Everyone knows wrestling is fake," he told the befuddled judge. As if that wasn't bad enough. Well, yeah, we'll get into that in a second. Yeah, that was what he said. Everyone knows. It's predetermined, it's choreographed, but there's definitely nothing fake about it.
No.
My back is reminding me of that every day from 2 years of taking bumps, getting clotheslined and suplexed and body slammed and all those other things.
That's understandable.
Yeah. So there's definitely, that part of it is most certainly real. It's theatrical combat, which is a very politically correct way of putting it.
That is a good way to put it.
It's yeah, we're expanding a little bit. It's like that whole thing that George Carlin did, the comedian, back forever ago, talking about how we've developed over the years from shell shock to battle fatigue to operational exhaustion to post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm not doing it justice. You can go look that up on the interwebs too. There's a lot of things you can look up on there.
Interwebs for that one.
But yeah, it was a comedic bit, and that's why George Carlin is amazing. But as if all that wasn't bad enough of him, the arrest and the principal and everything else, the same kid, roughly 1 week later, was arrested yet again for delivering another RKO, but this time on a fake alligator at a Florida mall. I almost feel like I need to repeat that. Yes, delivering an RKO on a fake alligator at a Florida mall. Now, according to ABC News, Gianni Sosa Hernandez was charged with criminal mischief after damaging the display alligator at the Falls Shopping Center in Miami-Dade County. Once again, according to the Miami-Dade Police Department. In the video, there was video for both because it's the internet. There's video for anything. Things that go viral and whatnot. Sosa Hernandez, 18, is seen removing his sweatshirt and running to the side of the display. He then jumps over the barrier, throwing the fake alligator off of a rock and into the display's pond. Sosa Hernandez picks up the alligator before performing a wrestling move on it that police identified as an RKO. I need to stop there. The fact that you needed police to identify it. So it's like, all right, which sergeant here or which officer here is a wrestling fan? All right, what is it that you tried to do here? That's an RKO done by Randy Orton. All right, good work. Like, is that really how that went? I can't even imagine.
I'm speechless.
But
speechless.
That being said, yes, an RKO, a move popularized by WWE wrestler Randy Orton. He then pretends to pin the Gator. Now, he apparently counted his own fall as there wasn't another knucklehead who jumped the barricade to be a referee in this case. At least I don't believe. I know they say don't try this at home, but don't try it anywhere else. At school, at a mall. I mean, that's why they are professionals. I know these there in Miami, and it's in the same state as the Performance Center in Orlando, but I don't think that this is a way to get an audition for a call up to the Performance Center.
And even then, if you were going to do it, why not do it to, say, one of your friends, not like to your principal or a prop alligator?
Well, I guess in the case of the prop alligator, there's potentially less... Why am I trying to justify this? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Moving on. Yeah, we're moving on from that because that's just that. I'm in a good mood. I don't feel like head desking today. Usually that's reserved for when Twitch is here and he says something stupid. Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I think from what I saw on his social media that apparently he is still fighting this sinus infection that plagued him from coming out to the remote last week. Yeah, I talk about in the opening of the thing, slowest escalator ride ever. I think that is also can be attributed to his immune system. That's as far as I'll go with that.
Yeah.
So, in other news, moving to something a little bit more current here. So, WWE announced a live network special for tomorrow night entitled "The Shield's Final Chapter." Yeah, it was initially a house show, like an untelevised event that the network is now going to be airing because it appears to be the last match for that combined faction of Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose, who have been with the company in WWE since 2012. As Ambrose had announced 2 months ago that he would not renew his WWE contract. So tomorrow's match appears to be Ambrose's final contest with the company. So then he'll move on to whatever his next venture is. People are already thinking, oh, All Elite Wrestling, maybe Ring of Honor, maybe New Japan. He has options.
Whatever it may be, best of wishes.
Yeah, I thought you were about to future endeavor him for a second. Wishing him all the best in his future endeavors. That's usually what WWE gives in their press release when somebody gets let go. Well, I thought that's where you were going. I was like, okay, that clever work by you. Very well done.
I mean, I think. I don't know.
You're doing good, kid. Roll with it. And that cracked him up for some reason. All right. The Shield will be taking on Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, and Baron Corbin, a match that we have seen fairly recently. And also on the card, Finn Balor will defend the Intercontinental title against Elias. We'll talk more about him later. Now, coverage on the WWE Network will begin tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, so a good portion of the event will not be televised prior, as I believe it's in Moline, Illinois, so it's a smaller venue.
Understandable.
Yeah, not exactly the 82,000 plus from WrestleMania 35, not even close.
Still a lot. Still a lot.
Now, I had mentioned, I guess we'll get into it now here we'll save it for the other side because there's a lot to get into. We'll take the whole second segment of the show for the Superstar Shakeup. Although plans change second by second around here, so I think what we're going to do then, we'll take care of our first time out a little early here, so that way we can get both the Superstar Shakeup and our caller on the line here, just that way we can give him the full allotted time here. So we'll take care of that, come back, and we're getting international on the other side here. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Lee Piccarello inviting you to tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. to The Head Game, a must-listen show for athletes and coaches of all levels and ages. Mindful Athlete Training in Newtown, Pennsylvania is a mental circuit training program that prepares the athletes to perform at the highest level of today's game. Athletes get into the zone faster and stay there longer. Tune in every Friday morning at 8 a.m. right here on WBCB 1490 AM and throughout the world at WBCB1490.com.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
All commentators heard on WBCB express their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management. Here's another What's It Worth Antique Minute. Ever wonder how the 21-gun salute originated? The 21-gun salute is a tradition often used at military and law enforcement funerals where 7 rifles each fire 3 blanks for a 21-gun salute. But gun salutes have been used by many different countries in many different formats for centuries. Why 21 guns for the United States and not 20 or 22? One theory has it that shortly after the founding of our country in 1776, someone realized that when you add the 4 numbers in 1776 together, 1 plus 7 plus 7 plus 6, you get 21. Thus, the 21-gun salute was recommended as a tribute to the year our country was founded, and it's been a U.S. tradition ever since. What's it worth? Back in 2014, Heritage Auctions sold a 1776 Continental Currency dollar for $1.41 million. Auctioneer, appraiser, and home downsizing expert Mike Ivankovich hosts What's It Worth? Ask Mike the Appraiser radio show. And you can tune in on Friday mornings from 9 to 10 on WBCB 1490 or on the internet at WBCB1490.com.
What script? We got rid of it, remember?
Yeah, oh yeah, you crumbled it up. Wait, no, it's in the waste bucket. I don't know why I just called it a waste bucket. I've been watching too much British television. And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro. No, sorry, that's the rubbish bin. It's in the
Where most of your jokes go.
Yes! Yes! Oh!
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside a very hysterical Mitch as I had explained the Misfits in action to him over the break and, all the different characters, and he is still shaking his head and recovering over it here. But to a lot for time here, we're going to go ahead and get on over to the phones. As I said, we're getting international, and usually when that occurs, that can mean one of a couple things, but it usually means this particular thing. Calling all the way over from England, the great Harry Barnett.
That's always a wonderful introduction from you, Fearon. I appreciate that, even in my severely, I don't know if I can even call it a concussed state at this point, because it has been nearly 2 months, but hey, at least I remembered to turn up.
Yes. No, it is greatly appreciated and good to talk to you again here. And always good to get the John Williams in the background there.
Exactly. I mean, who wouldn't want John Williams in the background? Some would say that the movie producers out there who do not use John Williams are morons. But hey, what WB do is their business.
Well, I mean, there are a lot of great composers out there, to say the least. But yeah, there's a very lengthy dossier and resume when it comes to John Williams. But that notwithstanding, we've got certainly a lot going on, things certainly being shaken up in WWE with the Superstar shakeup, and we'll get a little bit more into that over the course of a little bit. But how have things been with you?
Oh, I mean...
I know that medically things haven't exactly been the greatest.
Other than, forgetting most of the last 2 months in my head and getting an 8mm bleed on the back of my brain, I could probably say I'm the best I've been in a while, mainly because I don't remember. I've been going out to my movies. I've been just living in a little bubble. I mean, what better can you get than no drama? Just living in that bubble and nothing being able to get you apart from a metal shelf.
Yeah, no, there's certainly having no drama is not a bad thing. Although, the antithesis to that, I got a text a few minutes ago, Twitch saying he just woke up and is still under the weather and does apologize for his inability to join us here.
What weather is he under? Is it sun like over here? Maybe a little bit of rain?
Earlier today it was rain, but I think that a lot of that has been causing a sinus infection that he's been fighting for the better part of the last week or so.
Well,
it's probably because he didn't want to be like his hero CM Punk, and he refused Z-Packs.
Well, if I may, Fearon, I'm going to send a message out to Twitch, Lucas. I'm going to say that I would have sent you a card, but, well, I'm not going to. No, I'm kidding. You get well soon, and, you should go out and see Avengers Endgame rather than going to all of these wrestling shows. But, hey, you're trying to make a name for yourself, so you do what's best for you.
Yeah, that's usually what he does.
Well, he goes by several names. I would look into that. I mean, I've seen several pages online. I've found them. They're all Lucas. But yeah, here's our friend. We should look after him. And if anyone does cross him, well, cross the other side of the road. Don't hurt him. He is a friend.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like you have the 3 faces of Foley, and then you've got the 2 faces of Twitch.
Now. I thought it was at least 16, not 2.
Well, I don't know. I think I think some of his facial expressions, yes, there are many faces to Twitch, but that's a whole nother story. But enough slacking on him here, as we've got certainly a lot to get into, and it's been a crazy week to say the least.
A lot shaking up.
Yeah, a lot is shaking up, and we're going to go ahead and get to that in a moment or so, but I appreciate you taking a few minutes here to join us, and look forward to talking to you again, hopefully under better physical conditions in the near future.
I'll do my best to remember to come back, but I'm going to go back to sitting in the sunshine with a Coke or two, maybe about 18.
There you go.
I wish you the best, and you have fun, Fearon.
Thank you. Much appreciated, Harry. The great Harry Barnett calling all the way over from England.
Seemed like a nice guy.
Yeah, he is. He's it's been a little while since he's made his way stateside, and I've gotten the chance to see him in person. But yeah, certainly a fun individual and a good friend of the show for a long while here. But yes, to the superstar shakeup. So wrestlers moving from Raw to SmackDown, SmackDown to Raw, as well as getting called up from NXT, the developmental entity, and well, quite a few names kind of going from one to the other here, including those going to Raw. Well, you had AJ Styles, The Miz, Ricochet, Aleister Black, Andrade and Zelina Vega, Rey Mysterio, the Uso brothers, or the Usos, Naomi, EC3, Lacey Evans, Eric Young, Cedric Alexander, and certainly a talking point, an old/new team has called up from NXT the team of Hanson and Raymond Rowe, known in New Japan and Ring of Honor as War Machine and known in NXT as War Raiders. Well, in getting the call up to the Raw roster, they were retooled as far as their naming. They are known as Eric and Ivar, the Viking Experience. Yes, that grimace gives, the fact that you're learning bits and pieces regarding wrestling, and you even grimaced at that. Yeah. That, I think, kind of shows, all right, might have been a swing and a miss. Possibly. But, I mean, they did well in their debut. It's just, I don't think most people saw it because they were too busy going to the internet to make fun of the name.
As people do.
Yeah. I felt bad because, I mean, even Mick Foley came to the defense of it. I mean, a Hall of Famer. I mean, he, great accolades. And he had said, hey, I mean, there are people who can take not so great names and turn them into something great. And he gave an example of The Undertaker, who was initially known as Kane the Undertaker. And somebody responded to that saying, well, it's not like he was called The Funeral Experience. The internet. It is so hilarious. Meanwhile, heading over to SmackDown, you have Finn Balor, Ember Moon, Bayley, Kairi Sane, Buddy Murphy, Liv Morgan, Chad Gable, Apollo Crews, Mickie James, Otis and Tucker of Heavy Machinery. They got the called up. Lars Sullivan, who was announced on Monday as going to Raw, and then the next day on SmackDown was switched over to the SmackDown roster. And then, of course, well, we've got the, as according to Vince McMahon, the biggest acquisition in SmackDown history.
This man, no doubt, is not only the future of SmackDown, he is the future of the entire WWE. And without a doubt, the greatest acquisition in SmackDown history. And why wouldn't he be? He's tough, he's talented, he exudes charisma. Drum roll, please. Ladies and gentlemen, alas!
I quit. What? This is the acquisition? I mean, he is tough.
Hello, I am Elias.
He is talented. He is charismatic. This is a big get for SmackDown. I don't mind a little musical accent to SmackDown Live.
There is a man that knows what WWE stands for. I have to thank you. Now,
thank you.
Thank you. And I have got to say, I'm sorry I don't speak French. Now, I have questioned a lot of the decisions you have made. I mean, my WrestleMania performance, after it was interrupted by John Cena, and then the next night on Monday Night Raw, The Undertaker, and then last night, Rey Mysterio. But after what you said and what you just did right now, I've got to say, naming me the biggest acquisition in SmackDown history, you have got your finger on the pulse of what this audience wants. Yes. Now, I am happy to be on SmackDown tonight, but I am not happy to be in Montreal. I mean, you all speak some language that I can't even understand. And I get it, you're upset. AJ Styles isn't here anymore, but with him gone, SmackDown will become the temple of Elias. And you will all come out to worship the man who is taking the reins tonight. I just need everyone to silence their cell phones, hold their applause, and most importantly, shut your mouths.
Elias is cool and all, but this is game-changing. Roman Reigns is on SmackDown Live. And Reigns going right after Elias. With a look right at the chairman, a Superman punch.
Oh my gosh!
The big dog just dropped the chairman.
I don't care what he says. SmackDown Live is my yard now.
Statement made.
The big dog is here on SmackDown Live.
So there you have it. Yes, Elias going over to SmackDown, and so too Roman Reigns, and making his presence felt with a Superman punch not only to Elias, but also to 73-year-old Vince McMahon, the owner of the company.
I don't know what to say.
I mean, it's certainly entertaining. I mean,
well, yes, definitely.
Now, as you could tell, they were up in Montreal, which is why there were some various French references and whatnot. And well, the thing that I found hilarious was at the very beginning of that, as McMahon was giving the announcement of Elias, you could hear the crowd still bitter. But they were, after 21 and a half years, but they kept chanting, "You screwed Brett, you screwed Brett," in reference to the Montreal Screwjob from which you had just seen the Dark Side of the Ring. So
yeah, I just learned about that. So there.
Yeah, a little point of context, a little reference, that sort of thing. All right, let's go ahead and get back to the phones here. Look at the local scene, courtesy of Ed from Northeast Philly. Ed, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Good afternoon. George's card, I think you know about this already. About Charlie Caruso being there, coming up in May.
You know, I'd seen there was an announcement, and yeah, I do see that here. It's going to be Saturday, May 4th from 2 to 4 p.m. And that'll be over at the Neshaminy Mall location, the movie theater wing near Modell's.
That's May 11th, right?
According to their website, it's May 4th.
May 4th?
Yep, 2 weeks from today, also known by many fans as Star Wars Day.
May the 4th be with you.
Exactly.
Anyway, also on the May 4th, ACPW Delco Mania is going to be in Upper Chichester Rec Center with Ken Anderson, Gabby Gilbert, Tyrus, and Matt Stryker.
Certainly should be a goodie. That's out in looks like out in Boothwyn, if I see here. Yep, the Upper Chichester Recreation Center.
7 p.m. bell time.
Yeah, it should be a fun one.
Impact is also that weekend too, May 3rd and 4th at the 2300 Arena.
Yeah, they're just everything's getting around. That's for sure.
who knows who's going to be on that card?
Yeah, there's been a lot of comings and goings, and we'll get into that a little bit on the other side. As there have been a couple of demanded releases as that's been going on. I mean, a little bit more so on WWE's side, but there's been a shakeup in that regard as well.
And don't forget Icons coming up in June.
Yep, the icons of wrestling. They've been doing a lot for a long while here, and pretty good friends of the show as well.
And HOH that night.
Yep, House of Hardcore.
Yes, all starts at 9 a.m. on June 8th.
Yeah, that'll be a long and fun day to say the least.
Yes. And GCW is this coming Thursday at Voltage Lounge in Fishtown, whatever that's called.
Yeah, no, you have it right. Voltage Lounge, and that's Crime Wave.
Crime Wave, starting at 8 p.m.
Yep, that'll be this Thursday night. Another night of wild action, to say the least. I see Nick Gage is set to be there, Bad Boy Joey Janela, Jimmy Lloyd, just to name a few.
And they'll have an I Play America 80s Wrestling Con next weekend in Freehold. I think you mentioned that a couple of weeks ago. Or I mentioned it.
Yeah, I know we talked about it a little bit. Yeah, it's next Saturday, and that starts at 10 a.m., and over 15 legends confirmed from the World Wrestling Federation days, including Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, the Wild Samoans, Hall of Famer Wendy Richter, just to name a few.
The Glow Girls.
Oh yeah, the the Glow or Golden Girls, or no, Glamour Girls.
Hollywood Lightning and Royal Hawaiian.
Okay, the Girls of Glow. Okay,
yeah,
that's
the original ones.
I just wanted, I didn't know if it was the Glow Girls or the. I meant to say Glamour Girls, but for some reason I had Golden Girls on the brain. I don't know. Nonetheless, thank you for being a friend, Ed.
And what's up with not Bailey, Sasha Banks?
Well, that's a little bit of what I was kind of getting into. Is there's been a recent trend of a lot of wrestlers asking for, some receiving, some not, their release by WWE. One of them was this past Tuesday, Luke Harper announcing that he had asked to be let go. He had tweeted out, "As of this evening, I have requested a release from WWE. The past 6 years have been a simply amazing journey around the world and back with lifelong friends and family. I am proud of it all and proud to say I shared the ring with my coworkers. This decision, as difficult as it was, feels right for myself and WWE. My goal in the future is to continue to grow as a performer and person and continue to make my family proud. Thank you from the top to the bottom of WWE. Thank you to the fans for your undying support. Thank you, everyone." That was his tweet that was sent out. Now, I think because Harper's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle, partly because of injuries, and now you have Rowan over on the, working with the new Daniel Bryan, Harper kind of being lost in the shuffle again, and time not exactly on his side as he is 39 years of age. So if there's going to be some moves made to get him up there, it's gotta go or get off the pot,
Yeah, that's true. I think he's been there like 3 years or more.
Well, he's been with WWE for 6 years now. It's just a lot of that time was spent with the Wyatt family. He had the Bludgeon Brothers thing for a little while, but then kind of got lost in the shuffle when Randy Orton was part of the Wyatt family for that brief moment. But yeah, Sasha Banks, she was unhappy after losing the women's tag titles at WrestleMania, thinking that she and Bayley would have a lengthier run to kind of establish the women's tag titles as the new entity that they are, and to not necessarily have them changing hands on a frequent basis.
Yes.
So we'll see. It doesn't look as though she's gotten it, but she hasn't been granted anything, but she has been unhappy, and last I heard, she has been sent home to think about it, to not make any rash decisions.
She's a good wrestler.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
Part of the problem, though, is that not everybody can be the main eventer. And I think that's part of the problem is that, I mean, you have different places along the way. I mean, not everybody can go last on the card. It's there has to be a first, a second, a third. In a 10-match card, somebody's got to go third, somebody's got to go eighth, somebody's got to go fifth. It's the hierarchy of things. Not everybody can be the last match.
And I hope Twitch feels better.
I will pass along the kind words here, as I'm sure he's tuning in, but well, okay, maybe I'm not so sure.
He'll probably catch it on the
yeah, exactly.
Whatever you call it.
Yeah, he'll catch the archives or something.
And MPW, I'll let you handle that one.
Well, yeah, that's going to be this coming Saturday as well, the 27th, and Tag Team Turmoil is going to be going on, plus a rematch of the Heavyweight Championship as Getty Cahoon defending against former champion Soriano.
Happy Easter.
Yes, happy Easters. That's tomorrow, and thank you so much for tuning in. We got to go hit a break, though, but appreciate the look at the local scene, as always, Ed from Northeast Philly. So we're going to come back, and, well, we talked about one release. There's another to talk about that was requested, also a couple of signees, and an interesting guest host to a daytime talk show. Yeah, we'll let you know what's going on with that on the other side. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly. Oh, and one other thing. You'll hear about it in the Today in Wrestling history that Mitch provided for us, but we're going to delve into a little bit of that as it is a comedically memorable moment, and we'll have that for you on the other side as well. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
What a night. Sports betting is here at 3 locations. Parks Casino, the South Philadelphia Racing Sportsbook, and the Valley Forge Racing Sportsbook. All your favorite ways to bet. Spread, money line, totals, props, parlays, and teasers. Come bet and watch all the college basketball tournament action, international soccer, and the start of baseball season. Plus, use your mobile bet slip builder to see real-time sports odds from anywhere. Plan your bet in advance. Bet with the best at 3 locations. Pennsylvania's #1 casino, Parks Casino, plus the South Philadelphia and Valley Forge Racing Sportsbook. 21 Gambler. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Join Rebecca's Forecast Tuesday at 10 a.m. She'll take your calls, questions, and fill you in on what's happening for your personal sun sign. Join Rebecca's Forecast once again every Tuesday at 10 a.m. right here on 1490 WBCB.
The Baseball Insider Show presented by SEPTA this Sunday prior to Phillies baseball right here on 1490 WBCB and video stream live on Facebook and at WBCBsports.com.
Moving Day Southeastern PA, a walk for Parkinson's, is coming up on June 8th at Core Creek Park. More than just a walk, Moving Day is a fun and inspiring fundraising event that celebrates exercise and unites the community in the fight against Parkinson's disease. Let's get moving. Join the Parkinson's Foundation for Moving Day Southeastern PA on Saturday, June 8th. Register today at movingdaysoutheasternpa.org.
As one of the 10 largest employers in the Delaware Valley, SEPTA employs over 9,000 people in every area of public transit. If you're looking for an employer that's diverse, consider a career with SEPTA. There's exceptional growth potential, competitive compensation, and great benefits, including medical, dental, and life insurance, and free SEPTA transportation. SEPTA is currently hiring bus operators and skilled trades, including masons, plumbers, electricians, and more. Visit SEPTA.org/careers to get started.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, April 20th. On this date in 1996, AWA held its Wrestle Rock 86 Supercard. In the main event, the Road Warriors defeated the Fabulous Freebirds in a steel cage match. On this date in 1997, WWF held its 14th In Your House pay-per-view titled Revenge of the Taker. In the main event, Steve Austin defeated Bret Hart by disqualification. On this date in 1998, WCW Monday Nitro aired live from Colorado Springs, Colorado. In the main event, Hollywood Hogan pinned Randy Savage in a no disqualification match to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in 2009, WWE Monday Night Raw was taped in London, England. In the main event, Randy Orton pinned Triple H. This has been Today in Wrestling History, April 20th.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you alongside Mitch.
Heyo.
And celebrating Rob Van Dam's favorite day because you know why. Yeah.
Yeah, I know why.
Exactly. So we talked about it heading into the break here. So there was a guest host actually just yesterday to the Ellen DeGeneres show, the Ellen talk show or whatever.
Yeah.
And his name is John Cena.
No, I kid you not. It actually was John Cena, not just a reason to get the drop in. Yes, John Cena was hosting the Ellen show yesterday, interviewing a kid genius, as well as his Blockers co-star Leslie Mann, and in honor of what some celebrate today, playing a guessing game as to whether certain titles or names were names of show dogs or certain herbal strains, if you know what I mean.
I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, and oddly enough, their show's guest DJ, also happened to be nicknamed Twitch. It's amazing how that works.
Huh.
So yeah, here's a little bit of that from yesterday here.
I got to admit, I wasn't expecting that. That was incredible. Thank you. Thank you. And I know what you're thinking. Has Ellen been working out? She has. She is trapped under a barbell right now. And I'm John Cena! And I'm here in Ellen's place, but don't worry, this is going to be like a normal Ellen show. Well, it'll kind of be like Ellen Mania 35, 5, 5, 5. Truly, it is an honor to be guest hosting. Ellen just doesn't let anybody guest host this show. I was told I need to bring 3 things: charm, talent, and the ability to bench press a horse. Since I'm here, I know everybody's probably wondering, well, where is Ellen? I'll tell you where she really is. I'm hosting her show, and I asked her to do what I normally do. You'd be surprised. It's going pretty well for her. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. I have a bit of a reputation for being a tough guy. But the truth is, I'm actually a really nice guy. I like a good cry. My favorite movie is The Notebook. My favorite song is Wind Beneath My Wings. I think the mark of a real man is that he's not afraid to show his softer side. It's not that I want to wrestle people. I want to hug them, and sometimes I get carried away. To show you what I'm talking about, I put together my own opening for the show. Here it is.
He looks like a tough guy, but he's got a big heart. I knew that I'd love him right from the start. If he wanted, he could kill a man with his bare hands. But no one is sweeter than John Cena. Cena's just like a big teddy bear, warm and cuddly, and he really does care. But if you ever cross him, you best not go to him. He's a dangerous man with 6 confirmed kills. But no one is sweeter than John Cena.
The Cena Show is taped in front of a live studio audience.
Well, we're going to have some fun, and hopefully today you'll get to know who I really am.
And they certainly did, as there were a lot of different discussions of things that, let's just say some of the exposure that John had gotten during the filming of that Blockers movie that Leslie Mann had brought up. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
There was something involved. If you saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If not, let's just say there was one point where there was a funnel in which beer was poured, and it went into a certain part of Cena that a different opening than the mouth. We'll put it that way.
I mean,
the south mouth, I believe, is
Yeah,
what John referred to it as on the show.
I mean, I saw it in the trailer, so yeah.
Yeah, that. So they brought up some various things of that nature here, but it was certainly an entertaining show, and I didn't think he did so bad.
Yeah.
He did all right. Now, also, WWE announced new signees Kushida, Garza Jr., and guest on the show 1 year ago this week, Shane Strickland. Yeah, see, they get a little bit of that Pro Wrestling Weekly karma, and it just gets them moved up there. So they've all reported to the WWE Performance Center down in Orlando, Florida. See, it takes a matter of earning your stripes, not just, RKOing people at random in, school or malls or whatever.
Oh, Florida.
Moron. Yes. And, this is something that, yes, this is. I'm saving this toward the end here because of the sheer hilarity of it. But as you had mentioned in the Today in Wrestling History segment, it was Wrestle Rock 86 on this date 33 years ago. And something very infamous that came out of that, to take you back into that time frame, not that I remember it because I was 4 at the time, but there was a promotional video that was done. It was a music video shot in Las Vegas. It was called the Wrestle Rock Rumble, and it was very similar to the Super Bowl Shuffle from the year earlier, as that was the big thing at the time. You had the different, this was part of the Chicago Bears who had won the Super Bowl that year, and they had different players from the team rapping along to a beat. This is when rap was in its very early days. So the AWA, being trying to stay hip and trendy with things, based there out of Minnesota, don't you know, the video featured different AWA talent rapping verses. And we've got that here for you if you can indulge me. Those of you who are familiar with this, I'm sure you're going to laugh or cringe at it, and those hearing it for the first time, the video also is worth a look. As to give you an idea, some individuals who were in this particular video include Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels, when he was one half of the Midnight Rockers with Marty Jannetty, Nick Bockwinkel, who I've already gotten a text from our good friend of the show and self-professed Fugazi wrestling fan Mike Samsel, who says Bockwinkel MVP. You'll hear why in a moment. Also, Scott Hall, who was just inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year as part of Degeneration X, and Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, is in this as well. So just to name a few. So there are some notable names that they'll look back at this and go, what can I say? It was the 80s, and just go from there. So here it is from the event that occurred 33 years ago to the day, the lead-in video to it, the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
This is Ken Resnick, and I'm here to say we've got the greatest wrestlers in the AWA. But you're not here to listen to me mumble. Let's fill you in on the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Get on!
Wrestle Rock, be there.
We're the Midnight Rockers, Sean and Marty. We love to wrestle, and we love to party. You don't have to worry, we're not gonna fumble, because we'll be shaking through the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Out!
Wrestle Rock. I'm the Sheik, and that's not funny. I got my army a lot of money. If Ganya in my way, I make him crumble. He be sorry, I did the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
Wrestle Rock, be there.
I'm Jerry Blackwell, and I want to ski. I want to get my hands on that pencil neck geek as I watch the EDF Bumble. I'm gonna make my splash in the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
The AWA, you, me, and Wrestle Rock.
I'm Greg Gagne, and I'm in a rage. I want Brody, and I want him in a cage. The high-flying drop kick will make him see double. I grind him up at the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Woo!
Wrestle Rock.
I'm Kurt Hennig.
And Big Scott Hall. As tag team champs, we'll take on them all.
So bring on the long riders, those dirtball dumbos.
We'll smear those bushes, do the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
This is Nick Bockwinkel, and I've got a passion. I'll get the title back from the humanoid Hanson. I've got the brains, and I'm not humble. I'll take the belt back and do the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
Wrestle Rock, April 20th, at the Dome.
Wrestle Rock, 86, be there.
Fisco. I won't be through till I get done slapping around Scott in the tooth. Gonna beat the ugly bartender into a bundle and laugh all the way doing Wrestle Rock Rumble. Ow!
This game talk got a mouth that won't quit, but I'm Scott McGee and want to smack a little shit. And when I'm through, you won't be able to mumble. I'll be left alone doing the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Yeah!
Just one last word from the former champ Vern, but give it a lot of thought to one more turn. There's some old scores that still give me trouble, and I'm starting to get the urge to do the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
So there you have it, and now you know him. And on April 20th, it's at the Dome. So get your tickets to be under the bubble, because you two can be doing the Wrestle Rock Rumble. Do it!
Wrestle Rock Rumble. Wrestle Rock Rumble.
The Wrestle Rock Rumble.
Wrestle Rock Rumble.
So there you have it, the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
I
Mitch,
need to
your
see
thoughts?
The video of this.
Yes, you do.
I also like how it started out with "My name is blank and we're here to say." That's usually how a lot of raps start. But also, like in between every person rapping, there was just this woman who's saying "Wrestle Rock" or '86.
Well, there were women that were. I mean, it was filmed in Vegas, so they were. Well, rather beautiful women. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, we'll put it.
Yeah, there were some lovely ladies that were helping to promote it, and were looking rather voluptuous, dare I say? Yeah. No wonder you're looking to see the video. No, there's also a hilarious point where Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig, as they were doing their thing, they were walking out of a pool. And there were some ladies that were surrounding them, and then in the next scene, after it cut away to something, it shows the ladies pushing both of them back into the pool.
Yeah,
just some playful,
Yeah.
Just playful.
Also, I got confused when the only swear word they had was censored with this weird
whistle. It was a whistle. Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was planned or not, but that was based on the Scott Ledoux Larry Zbyszko boxing match that occurred in the event.
That happened?
That was the 12th match out of the 16-match card.
Ah.
Yeah, there was also a women's battle royal with Sensational Sherry and Luna Vachon and Debbie Combs, just to name a few. Yeah, there were a lot of names that would eventually go on to the WWF or WWE to, for the most part, or there were some that carved out their legacy through the AWA and NWA and other places prior to it. So it was an interesting mix, to say the least. But we are, we are quickly at that point where it is time for...
birthdays!
Twitch who? 3 plus 3 Brucey bonuses. So first, on this date in 1977, Jonathan Hugger was born. The former WCW, WWE, TNA, and AAA wrestler known as Johnny the Bull, Johnny Stamboli, and Relic turns 42 today. On this date in 1984, Garrett Bischoff was born. The former TNA wrestler and referee known by both his real name as well as Jackson James, and is the son of longtime wrestling executive Eric Bischoff. He turns 35 today. And on this date in 1985, Brian Myers was born, the current WWE wrestler and one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, known in WWE as Kurt Hawkins. He turns 34 today, and he is a Mets fan and will definitely let you know about it. That's why he always wears orange and blue. That's, the Mets colors and whatnot. Now over to the Brucey bonuses, things outside of the world of wrestling, because we like to be worldly when it comes to these things. So, firstly, on this date in 1937, Hosato Takei was born. The actor and activist best known for his role as helmsman Hikaru Sulu in the USS Enterprise of the television series Star Trek, known professionally as George Takei, turns 82 today.
Oh, my.
Oh, you went there.
Yeah, I went there. On this date in 1949, Jessica Phyllis Lang was born, the Academy, Emmy, and Tony Award-winning actress from films including Tootsie and Blue Sky, as well as the American Horror Story series, and the play Long Day's Journey into Night. She turns 70 today. She's got 3 of the Grand Slam of awards, the ever well-known EGOTs, the Emmy, Grammy, Oscar and Tony. And on this date in 1961, Don Mattingly was born, the 6-time All-Star Pro Baseball first baseman and coach, current manager of the Miami Marlins. He turns 58 today. That's going to do it for us. No Trenton Thunder. They got rained out. Play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock and all's well.
Serving you better than ever before.